Hello, everybody. I'm Stephen. This is the Friday Support Call. Welcome. Our host today is Leah Pearlman. And Leah, I'm glad to have you. We both had some feelings about the election, I imagine, just like most people. And you were talking about how you'd recently recorded a podcast. That's my invitation for you to talk about you and what you're doing and start the call. Thank you for hosting.
Yeah, great. Thanks for having me, Stephen. Thank you all for being here. It's nice to be with you today. I imagine it'll be nice to be with you, but it's nice so far. So I was just sharing with Stephen, one thing that I do is I record a lot of explorations or meditations or releases on a podcast on Spotify. And one way I call them to people who are not in the Sedona Method community. One second, Stephen, I'm hearing a little bit of an echo. Are you hearing that?
I'm not sure what that is. Hang on just a second. Do you still hear that?
Not so far.
Very
Okay.
good.
I think we're better. Okay, great. Thank you. Anyway, I often refer to them to people who don't know Sedona Method as negative meditations, because so often, I'm sure you all can relate. My experience before I found Sedona Method was I was always trying to meditate to feel better, which caused me to kind of deny or ignore what I was actually feeling. And so it just created this repression, suppression thing in this attempt to try to feel happy or better, or peaceful or love. But like sometimes I'm not feeling those things. And so trying to get there is actually a fight within myself. So one thing I love about the Sedona Method and I focus on in the podcast is to actually meditate on the crap that we're feeling. It's there anyway. It's already happening. So can we just find peace with it instead of trying to get away from it? So that's the focus there. And I'm often recording new meditations like the one on the election to help with really specific issues you might be experiencing. So today I recorded one called What to Do When a Loved One is Suffering. And there's about 100 like that. So anyway, just want to let you all know that resource is there, Spotify. You can find it at welcomingway.com. Okay. Is that enough of an intro, Stephen?
Welcomingway.com, is that what you said?
Yes, welcomingway.com.
Highly recommended. One thing I like about what you do, by the way, is that you not only record, but very often write. And there's a very thoughtful, well, I'm a writer and editor by profession. And so what I see is just this thoughtfulness. I really appreciate that.
Thank you, Stephen. I love doing it. So I'd love to see any of you over there. But since you're here now, let's just be here now. So we'll just go in order. Lorenz.
Yes, hi.
Hi.
I'm also a fan of your work, also those drawings you have, and just the dedicated focus on the welcoming aspect I find very valuable.
Thank you.
Yeah, and for me, it's just I've noticed that there's something I'm at odds with, and it's actually I feel like tired or fatigued quite a lot, and I've noticed that there's resistance to that or making it not okay. So I'd like some assistance in welcoming that.
Yeah, great. Stephen, do you think you could highlight Lorenz too, so I can see him bigger?
Oops, I have to unmute to speak. Yeah, actually, what I've done is I've used, just a second, here we go. I've used the spotlight feature. I'm turning it off. There you go. So now when Lorenz speaks, he shows up on the screen, which is what you're used to.
Great.
Good.
Okay. Okay, so Lorenz, right now, what's here around this topic of exhaustion or fatigue and resistance to it?
Yeah, I'd call it tiredness. And I do feel some of the sensation of that. And there's a little bit kind of like I'm angry about it
Yeah.
or
Okay.
frustrated. Frustrated.
Frustrated. Okay. So I'm going to invite you to separate out these as two parts of yourself. So rather than referring to them both as I am tired and I am frustrated, just notice that there's a part of you that's tired, period. And
There
then
is a
there's,
sensation of tired, yeah.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then there's a part of you that's frustrated.
Yes, they're separate, yeah. Mhm.
Okay, so this part that's frustrated, first, could you just let the frustration be here? Let it be valid.
Yeah.
Okay, so if that part could speak, what does the frustrated part feel frustrated about?
Feels frustrated about being tired.
And what does it
Thinking,
believe that means? What's the problem with being tired?
there's a problem. I'm deficient, or I can't enjoy myself. I don't have enough energy. Quite a number of things.
Okay. So the part of you that feels, I'm going to say this word, but tell me if you just say it differently. But the part of you that feels threatened by being tired, like you,
Thinking is very good, actually. Yeah.
great.
Uh-huh.
It's almost like I relate to what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Present,
just,
yeah. Uh-huh. That's it. Uh-huh. Okay, got it. Yeah.
yeah, good. So for a moment, this part of you believes that tiredness is a threat to efficiency, a threat to getting things done, and probably accomplishing everything you want to in your life.
Or just enjoying, yeah, whatever. Yeah, like whatever
Yeah.
else.
Yeah. So when the body's tired a little bit, as it is now, see if you can let yourself feel as scared about that as you do. Threatened by that.
Okay.
And I'd actually do that even more. This part of you that started off frustrated, it really distrusts tired. It finds it threatening.
Yeah, it's also associated with depression. Yeah.
Yeah, well, tired multiplied just leads to depression. So of course it's freaked out. Tired might even be a symptom of depression. So we better get rid of it at all costs. And then just for a moment, see if you can just let yourself be tired. It's what's happening anyway. And see if you can just let it be here just for now. Just as much as you are.
Okay.
And then check to see if there's any resistance to that, any feeling threatened by your own tiredness.
There's a lot of resistance, yeah, anger about it. Yeah.
Good. Okay, so see if you can open to the possibility that the anger is trying to adrenalize you away from being tired. It's trying to solve the problem.
Okay, yeah.
And notice that you want to feel energized, you want to feel awake, and just let that wanting be here.
Okay.
And then let yourself feel as tired as you are. No more, no less.
Yes.
And then again, notice any sense that actually letting yourself feel tired when you are is a threat. Threat to efficiency, threat to productivity, a threat to enjoyment.
Yeah.
And let yourself feel even more certain that letting yourself be tired is a threat, is a problem.
It's, yeah. Mhm.
What's happening?
Well, there's less wanting to fight it and more despair that it's there.
Despair?
Mhm.
Yeah. So again, what do you have to believe to feel despair when the body's tired?
I have to believe that it's bad, properly speaking.
Yeah. Okay, so see if you can notice that belief as a belief or a program that's running.
Yes.
And just check, is it energizing to run this program? Is it energizing? Yeah,
No,
okay.
it's draining.
And does resisting tiredness actually make you more efficient and enjoy life more?
No, less.
Okay, so this part of you that feels threatened by tiredness, see if it can just take that in. It wants you to be efficient. It wants you to be happy. And what it's doing is not
Yeah,
working.
I can honor that, yeah, that
Yeah.
intention.
So would it be okay, and I'm asking that part in particular, to just let the Lorenz body be tired when it is for the sake of energy and efficiency and happiness?
Yes.
So then check again, just to end here with the body, and see if you can just let it feel how it feels. Whether that's tired, peaceful, energized, depressed, just get out of the body's business and let it be how it is.
Okay.
And then do you actually seem to have much control how the body's doing?
No.
Could this just be apparently what's happening?
Yes.
And how does that feel now?
It feels like I can do it. I can allow the stage the body is in.
Great. And then just the offer I'd make is if this pattern shows up again, if you notice yourself resisting, look for the threat. What am I scared about?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for raising your hand.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much.
Romy or Rami.
Romy, yeah. Hi, how are you?
Good.
This was wonderful because, like Lawrence, I've been feeling the energy of tiredness for 2 weeks now, but it's like I've dived into it and it's much better. But I have again, yesterday my phone broke and I lost all the numbers. I couldn't save anything, but I'm calm. And I don't know if I should buy a new phone. Like, it's like usually I would be very anxious and fearful, but now I enjoy this time off. It's
Wow.
yeah, and so I'm so calm, and it's been 2 days, and I like this piece. So yeah, and I would like to work on opening up to more possibilities, to more joy and fun in life. So yeah, any opportunity. So just enjoy more in life.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Yeah, so is there a belief that you're not open to enjoy more in life?
No, but I just like, because of life that happened, especially this year, it was very intense. I kind of like either didn't choose it quite or didn't have the energy and I didn't have so much fun. It was more processing stuff, life happening, yeah, throwing me into intense energies. So I overcome many things. So I'm much more calmer than it was in the beginning of this year. So, but I would like just more opportunities to have fun, to just, more even new people, meeting new opportunities to just enjoy more.
Okay, so to me, that sounds like a goal that you'd like this year to be more fun than last year, to
Yeah.
have more opportunities. When you imagine intending that for this year, what's the first thing that comes up? It might be a sensation, an emotion, or thought.
It's just some sensation on my chest.
Okay. And is that sensation welcome or allowed, or is there some resistance to it?
It's welcomed, yeah.
Okay. So imagine that this year is filled with opportunities and excitement and fun. That's going to happen. There's nothing you have to do. What does that thought bring up in this moment?
Some heavy feeling on my chest.
Okay. And does that heavy feeling feel welcome or allowed?
Yeah.
Okay, so I take a moment here and just look around the space you're in and see if you can just be here now in this moment. Let the body and the mind be here now, not in next year, but just here.
Yeah.
And then notice if there's any sense of a problem or of lack that you need next year to fix.
No.
Okay. So then again, just opening to the possibility that next year will happen as it does. And your intention is for that to be enjoyable. And when you imagine that, what does that bring up now? Emotion, sensation, or thought?
Some resistance.
Good. So is that resistance welcomed or allowed?
Yeah.
And does the resistance have anything it wants to say or anything it believes?
Right now, what comes up, it's like people are draining, like energy. That's,
Good.
yeah, that's what just coming up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so good. Okay. And that probably feels true sometimes or is true sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a part of you that wants more opportunities and connection, excitement. And then there's a part of you that's suspicious because people are draining. So just for a moment, can you just let yourself believe that as much as you do?
Yeah.
And you don't have to share what comes up in answer to this if you don't want to, but when you think the thought people are draining, are there any specific memories or images or people that come to your mind?
It's not just specific, but like collective energy.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's more present. Yeah, that I'm more aware.
Okay, great. So let's do a little bit of holistic welcoming here, which is let yourself be as resistant to people and their draining energy as you are.
Yes.
And then let yourself be as attracted to people and the fun and the opportunities as you are.
Yes.
And then let yourself be as resistant of people draining energy as you are.
Yeah.
And let yourself be as attracted to people as you are.
Yeah.
And then could you open to the possibility that a fun and exciting year involves the right amount of connection, no more and no less?
Yeah.
So in this moment, when you think the thought, next year, I'm going to have an exciting year with just the right amount of connection, what does that bring up?
Excitement, expansion, lightness,
And does
joy.
that
Yeah.
all feel welcome, or is there any subtle resistance to it?
No, it feels welcomed. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I'd recommend, Romy, just keep going with this. And I'll just sort of recap too for everyone to just say what I did. So we did a modified version of the goals process, which is set it in the present as if it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Say it, and then see what that brings up. And sometimes it'll be openness and sometimes it'll be resistance. And then what I love to do is what we just did is take the resistance seriously. It has a clue about what would hold us back. So if we welcome that and find out what it's worried about, you can actually shift your goal a little bit to include whatever it needs. So then we modified your goal to be an exciting year with the right amount of connection so that that part of you that was concerned feels included.
Great. Great tips. Thank you.
Yeah, great. Okay. Keith?
Hello, Leah.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
Nice to be here with you and everyone else. I'm going to jump on the past two people's tailcoats with tiredness, and I'm going to add in my own pain that seems to be wanting me to not go on this 3-hour drive I'm supposed to go on, that I know is going to be beneficial for me, but the body's resisting. If that makes anything clear.
Yeah. Mm.
I don't know how much of a word I could put to it. Dread of getting in that car, and because I know what that type of drive could do to me.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is, given the body is the way it is, which is both tired and in pain, there's also a thought about what might happen if you get in this car ride. It might get worse.
Yeah.
So you're in kind of a decision. Do I stay or do I go? Is that right?
Well, it's a given I need to go, but
Got
still
it.
resistance.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of
Okay.
resistance.
Okay. So currently that body mind is organizing to go on this trip. And there's resistance here now.
It's 3/4 packed.
Okay. Uh-oh, I think you froze.
video, see if did that help?
Yep, that helped. Great. Okay. Okay, so Keith, my first instinct is to check to see, are there any emotions here about feeling in as much pain as you do?
Yes.
Yeah, so just from, yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Tons, if you will.
Yeah. So those emotions, whatever you're noticing, do they feel welcome or is there some resistance to them?
There's resistance to them.
Yeah. Okay, so just for a moment, let yourself push the emotions associated with this pain away as much as you are.
Okay.
And do
Yeah,
that even more.
that's really helping. As you can't see me, I'm being a little sarcastic.
Okay. Yeah, got it. Thanks. Yeah, okay. And then those emotions that are here that are probably an appropriate response to a body in pain. See if you can just let them be here, even just 5%.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And does that feel safe to do?
Yes.
Would you be interested in trying to open up a little bit more to those emotions?
You could probably go as far as you need to because I've been through nightmare after night.
Okay. Oh,
I know. We don't want to go that far. But
so
emotion.
yeah, okay. So just for a moment, in this present moment, sounds like you don't even need the past, but in this moment, could you just let the Keith body mind feel whatever it's feeling about being in pain? Just
Yes.
notice that it's happening anyway.
Yes.
And then could you, as the aware experiencer of that body mind, give it some love and compassion?
Okay, I'm trying.
Okay, so when you intend to give that body mind that's in pain some love and compassion, what does that bring up?
It's actually mellowing the body and the nerves throughout my body that tend to fire off.
So bodies in pain deserve love.
Of course.
And
Everybody deserves love.
yeah.
Did you catch that play on words? Tell me to be quiet.
Yeah, so right now there's a body in pain that's being told it needs to go on a long car ride.
Yes.
So just for a moment, just let yourself feel as bummed about that as you do.
Okay.
And then there's a part of you that wants to go on the car ride for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And the part that wants to go on the car ride, did you just let that be here?
Yes.
Is it coming from any of the wants, wanting control, approval? security, separation, or oneness?
Security as well as control.
Okay. So at least in part, you're going on the car ride because you want security and control. So see if you can just let those wants be here.
Okay.
And notice any sense that you don't have security and control.
Okay.
And then again, notice the resistance. Is there still resistance to going on the car ride?
Not as much.
Okay. But a little bit?
No, not actually. Is a little bit, but nowhere near what it was.
Okay. Does that little bit feel welcome or allowed?
Yes.
Is there anything else, or does that feel like a good place to stop?
Fine place to stop. Thank you, Leah.
Yeah, my pleasure.
You're
Thanks.
beautiful.
Hey, Sharon.
Hi, Leah. Thank you. All the calls have really resonated at the moment. You know, each one in some way has resonated. So thanks. I'm feeling really physically unwell today. So at the moment, I feel like I've got a really heavy head and heavy body, sore throat, and just like to release around that, please, Leah. Thank you. Just a lot going on in my experience. And I think that's why I'm feeling like this.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
Is there any story, Sharon, that the body shouldn't be feeling this way?
Yeah, I feel a little bit frustrated because the weekends I might be quite busy. It's something I've been waiting for. Want to help some my family, my nephew in particular, possibly move, but just keeps getting held up and held up. And just I'm feeling frustrated with that as well, because it just feels like it's just so much going on, really. So I'm feeling like I've been waiting for this to happen, and we're not even sure it's going ahead at the moment. But I'm feeling like this, so physically I don't feel well enough to really help as well. So it's just frustration and just worn out with it all, really.
Okay, so tell me if this is right. What I'm hearing is there's a sick body right now, or it feels sick in certain ways.
Yeah.
And then there's a bunch of stories about what might happen this weekend, and a story about that you might not be able to participate if it happens. Is that right?
Yeah, sort of. And really feeling that, yeah, we need to move stuff here because we've been keeping stuff for him as well. So we're not sure whether it's to say it's going ahead. And I just don't feel physically well enough to deal with it, and just absolutely pissed off, I'm honest, because it's just been a horrible, intense year. And I felt at times recently that I felt calmer. And then today it's just like you're saying you feel better. And then today you get hit with this. It just seems just one thing after another. So just, yeah, that's where I'm at.
Got it. So is there a feeling that life is against you right now in some way?
Feels like it's constantly that way, if I'm
Okay.
honestly. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So let's just for a moment, see if you can notice what it feels like to feel constantly taken out on by life in different ways.
Just like I say, I feel worn out with it all. And it just feels like it's so unfair. And it just feels like the amount of things that are happening in my experience, just really like, I feel like, I'm on this journey. I feel like I'm a good person. I treat people well. It just feels like I keep getting all these negative things happening to me and my family. So I suppose it feels very personal right now as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good noticing. Yep. And it can be incredibly, it makes sense to be worn out when you feel like you're up against life itself
Yeah.
and losing.
Oh my God, it's control, isn't it? It's like I'm wanting control. Oh, trying to do it all myself. Oh, yeah. And then there's a thing that comes up. It's like, because I don't trust life because all that's happening, I've got to take control.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Good. Yep. Great. Great.
And then
No,
you realize you've got no control and you're just pushing against life.
yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
So what if then, Sharon, from this place, you can open to the possibility that life isn't actually against you, that that's just a story that the mind has, a conclusion the mind has drawn.
Yeah, I'm open to that, but it just feels like there's been so much. It's hard to like try and be positive right now about at times I do get glimmers that I feel that like things are changing and but it's not showing in my experience at the moment, but it feels like when I'm, because I'm doing so much releasing on so many release calls and I feel there's more space and calmness and I feel like something's going to shift,
Okay.
but
So
it feels, but nothing's actually changed in my experience yet. So I suppose I'm just waiting. Like I say, I'm waiting for this weekend to happen. I'm waiting for something to shift.
yeah.
Yeah.
And how does it feel to wait for life to shift when you don't trust it?
Just feel stuck, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've been in this situation for such a long time as well. Yeah.
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 So just, yeah, bring some love to your experience. It's so frustrating to feel like life keeps giving you crap. How on earth will you trust it to change?
That just feels really heavy and emotional in my throat and
Yeah,
my
good.
heart.
So just see if you can let all that be here in the present moment. It's what's happening now.
But yeah, I can be open to that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then just notice you haven't been doing this, but the mind has had a set of beliefs that has you outsourcing your happiness and your peace to life. Life has to configure a certain way for you to be happy, for you to be peaceful.
Yeah.
And what if life is just going to do what it does and it's not personal?
Yeah. I feel like recently I have been more, like say, calm, even in the midst of everything the way it is. It's totally not what I would choose if I had a choice. Um, um, so I am feeling that at times, but probably in this moment, maybe I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah, so then just for a moment, you might, if your eyes are closed, you might even look around the room you're in.
Yeah.
And then other than the body being under the weather, other than the possibility of missing some plans. In this moment, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And just for now, could you let that be enough? It might not be awesome, but at least better than terrorizing yourself with what might happen.
Well, I don't feel, I mean, to be honest, I don't, I mean, I feel like this year has been like really intense, and I do feel that, I say, I don't really feel, probably, you know, you're using the word terrorize, and I don't even feel the same fear anymore. I do feel like I'm on, I don't know, it feels like in some ways, Leah, it's like, I don't know, it's intuitively that things are about to change in a more positive direction. And I just feel like I've got to today, I'm still waiting for good news. And I'm just feeling, oh my God, how much longer have I got to be feeling like this?
So does there feel like a you that's waiting and anxious to feel better?
My voice goes with that, yeah, there is. I just feel like I've been waiting for so long.
And in this moment, can you see that as just a feeling and a story?
That's hard to see right now, but I know what you're saying, yeah.
Well, and maybe I shouldn't say just a feeling, but there's a feeling that you've been waiting so long, and that feeling is happening now. It really doesn't have to do with the past. It's happening now.
Yeah.
And could you just let it be here as a feeling instead of a fact? Or at least open to that as a possibility.
Yeah, I can open to that, thanks, yeah.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah, that feels like now it's got a little bit less power over me, yeah, thanks.
Yeah. So just to wrap up here, notice, is it helping that sick body to be wishing it were different? Is that helping it heal?
No. I feel really, I feel like I'm really being harsh with myself in that, to be honest, yeah.
So
Yeah.
just for now, could you just, again, I'll say these, what I said to Keith, but just get out of the body's business. Let it be as sick as it is, just for now. It's happening anyway.
Just feels like it's really difficult when you just get one intense experience after another.
Yeah, and then notice again, that's the mind making a narrative over time instead of just being with the body that doesn't feel good right now and doesn't really need more things scaring it or scolding it. And you're not doing that. It's just a habit. Many of us have that habit of wanting to scold the body into feeling better.
Right, okay, yeah, okay.
And I hope you feel better soon, Sharon.
Okay, cheers, Leah, thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Hey, Francis.
Hello, Leah. Good to see you.
Nice to see your picture.
If I do it live, it messes up my phone.
Okay, great.
So today, what I'm calling about is a young person who lived with me from 14 on. She lost her mother, and I thought we did well. She moved out, went to college, and now she's suicidal, drugs, just ruining her life. I'm in such despair over this person. I do go to Al-Anon, um, but I'm just so it's the belief that she's completely ruining her life. I certainly can't stop her. Um, and I'm terrified of what's going to happen to her. And she'll need a place to live and money, and I cannot offer her either one of those things.
Okay, thanks for sharing. Did you say something? It was very quiet.
Oh no, I said thank you for listening.
Okay. Okay. So just for a moment, Francis, we're going to go into this, but see if you can first just notice where your physical body is in space. Like look around the room you're in. Just take a moment to notice where you are in this present moment.
Okay.
And then notice that everything that you just shared about this person is happening in the story of the mind, on the screen of the mind.
Okay.
And in this present moment, notice any sense that that's real and true, especially everything that you think is going to happen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so just for a moment, just notice that all of that is imagination and story and scary.
Oh, wow.
And then in this moment, can you just let yourself care about this person as much as you do? Notice the love and see what that brings up.
Oh, wow. I'm resisting caring about her because in some weird way, I'm afraid it'll hurt me.
Oh, that makes so much sense. Okay, and that could happen. So your resistance isn't crazy. You might really feel hurt. Do you think the resistance will keep you from feeling hurt?
Maybe.
Okay, so then just for a moment, let yourself try to push her out of your heart as much as you are to protect yourself. Just let that be here. It's a normal response. And then see if you can let yourself love her as much as you do, whether you like it or not. And just as much as you're noticing, you don't have to try to make it more, but just notice any care.
Okay.
And then let yourself resist caring about her as much as you are.
Okay. I have a lot of care
Okay.
and a lot of resistance to taking care of her.
Oh, great. Good distinction. Yeah.
I'm afraid if I care about her, that I'll be tricked into taking care of her.
Yeah.
I am a bit of a tendency to caretake.
Okay. Really good to notice. Okay, so for a moment, let it feel as true as it does, which might be all the way true, that you don't want to care for her any more than feels good to you,
Okay.
or might even be helpful, like that you have a boundary about that. And then see if you can have that boundary and love her as much as you do, both, and see what that brings up.
That that feels that feels better, less personal, more detached.
Yeah, great. I hear too, like less over involved, but you can still hold her in her heart, in your heart, as much as you want.
Okay.
And what does it feel like in this moment, Francis, to care about someone while having no control whether she's okay or not?
Hmm. Hmm. It's a distinction I rarely make. I'm realizing if I, if I care about you, I'm going to take care of you. It feels just making that distinction feels I feel stronger, better.
I also had the thought, by making that distinction, that sets her free a little bit to take care of herself, at least in your mind.
Hmm.
It gives her back to her life to be in charge of.
Right, I'm not in charge of her life.
Yeah. So she is on an apparent journey. And see if you can love her, even if it's not the journey you would have chosen for her. Just love her as she is, as much as you do.
Hmm.
And that might include fear. And what's here now, Francis?
Hmm. Well, that I don't know how her life should be.
And does that not knowing feel welcome or allowed?
Yes, yes. It's very freeing. Because the saddest, most tragic part of when I look at her is that I just want to say, oh my God, you've ruined your life. Like, I just think it's hopeless and there's no coming back. How can she come back from this? And so I'm making this the story in my mind is that she's ruined her life.
Yeah. Sounds like a painful story.
It really is. And she thinks that also, I'm sure.
Yeah. And what if it's just a story that both of you are telling?
Mm.
Or see if you can see it as that. Even if the mind is sure, and even if the mind can predict and has so many ideas of I know, but just see that all as a story.
I actually can do that. It's a story.
Does that feel like a good place to stop for now?
It does. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing and being here.
Oh, my pleasure.
Okay. Hey, Ryan.
Hey there. How's it going?
Good. Nice to see your blurry
Yeah.
face.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's the wind, like right behind the window here. It was a little bit better. I'll try and put it down. Okay. How's that?
Great.
So, yeah, how was everything? Good.
Yeah, good. Great.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
So, I wish I could say the same. I mean, things are like objectively, it feels like they're good, but on like another feeling level, I just feel overwhelmed. Just like I don't know, just like I can't handle day-to-day stuff. With my son and he's very he's in a phase where he's like very like upset and for like a lot of the time. And yeah, so it's like I have other goals and things I want to do, but I just feel kind of like resistant to everything a little bit. Just trying to handle stuff feels hard. So
Oh, so it sounds like you're both in a similar phase, you and your son.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's rubbing off on me for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So when you think about this topic, in this moment, what's here now?
A little bit more ease for sure. But some, I guess, like the memory of how the overwhelm and like anticipation that it's gonna be that way again.
Mhm.
So
Yep. Yeah. And is there a sense that the overwhelm's a problem?
yeah, yes, for sure.
I remember Hale once saying it was a slightly different topic, but it was like the only reason we find overwhelming is because we're trying to push against it. Like that's what makes it overwhelming.
Yeah, that's exactly how it feels. Like I'm actively resisting and like even the letting go process, I feel like resistant to that. Like almost like I'm like I want to get letting go figured out so I can so it's not really letting go, it's like just wanting control over. So I'm aware of that, but also it's like I don't know where to go with that.
Yeah.
So
So what if just for a moment you just let yourself be taken over by the overwhelm? Like tantruming son, priorities that aren't getting met, letting go is just wanting control in disguise.
yeah,
Just actually let yourself be overwhelmed by all that and see if it kills you. And it might for a minute.
feel like that's that's creating some ease right now. Yeah, nice. Trying not to make a story up or like defend it. It feels like it really is like lessening right now.
So how about let's do both? Let the lessening happen. And there's some resistance to this, it sounds like.
Yeah.
So let the resistance be here.
Okay.
And what if defense isn't a problem? Let's see what does it want to say?
That feels like I'm incapable or like at the mercy of the feeling. Like objectively, I'm like, I see options and things I can do, but I feel like this physical force of like, oh, I just can't. That's what it wants to say, but yeah.
So just try this on for a moment, Ryan. What if that's true? What if you are at the mercy of this feeling and there's nothing you can do? See if you can try that on as a possibility.
Yeah. In a weird way, it's nice to hear you say that because it feels like validating of like, like most of the time it's like with me and in my head thinking about these things alone or like experiencing the feelings alone. But yeah, I mean, completely at the mercy of the feeling.
That's my experience of overwhelm. Like I think of it like a wave in the ocean. It's like you could try to push it, but it's probably better to just let it topple you until it passes. It's a little bit more true.
Sometimes I want that, and it feels like even that. I guess it's like sometimes I want that so that something changes. Um, and then and sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a lot of wanting control. I realize it's just
Yeah, so that part of you that wants control, see if you can let that be here. Like that's not crazy. Like your son is having a hard time, you have goals you want to meet and you're not able to do them. Welcome, letting go isn't quite working. And see if you can actually let yourself be frustrated by that and so want control. Makes sense.
yeah,
And actually let yourself want control even more. Control of your feelings, control of your son, control of your productivity.
I do feel it. It's like yeah, it's coming in like waves, and
Yeah, and what does it feel like to want control and not be able to get it?
feels like when I open to the wanting control, it feels like very overwhelming in like this not necessarily negative way, like kind of both. Like it's exciting and like it's like, oh, I want this or want to get these things done. And then it just feels like a cap is put on it. And then it's like the frustration kind of like it kind of it builds for a little bit, but it's like feels like apathetic kind of. It's like, okay, well, like I feel like giving up.
What if there's
But
wisdom in
yeah,
that?
yeah.
And
Like
not to
the
say
wanting to,
give up on your life, but what if apathy is trying to get you to let go.
I can see it. I can see that. Yeah, I do feel like that too. Yeah, that resonates with me, like the wanting me to let go.
And not let go of being happy and not let go of being a father or any of your other goals, but just let go of wanting control when you don't have it.
Yeah. Yeah, that feels true. Feels, yeah.
And then just for thoroughness, is there any part of you that is scared about apathy?
Yeah, it feels like there's nowhere to go with it, that it's just like, and I don't want to get totally lost in it, or yeah.
Yeah, of course. So can you just notice that as someone in control?
Yeah. Yes. Sure.
Okay, and just to end here, let your eyes close for a moment.
Okay.
I'm just going to guide you through these feelings. So they might come up again. So imagining the future Ryan, even future starting in a few minutes from now, will sometimes feel overwhelmed, and see if you can just let that be okay. Let go of thinking it's a problem or something to fix. It's just what's apparently happening. Just as best you can. And then sometimes the apparent body mind called Ryan will get so frustrated he'll want to give up. And see if you can actually just let that be okay. Let him give up trying to get control where there isn't any. Let giving up happens when it does. Which, by the way, isn't giving up. It's just letting go of resistance to what's happening. Letting go of resistance to apathy when apathy is happening.
That feels more okay.
And then sometimes there will be moments of brilliant parenting and partnering and projecting. And see if you could open to that as a possibility too, that life comes with that as well. Ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs. And let go as best you can of thinking you know how it should be. And then finally, if there's any sense that you do know how it should be or wanting it to be a certain way, see if you can just let that be here too. It's like a 2-year-old that wants its way also. And it gets to feel frustrated when it doesn't get it. And what you are is aware of all of that, experiencing all of that. Watching it all rise and pass. And you don't actually need to worry about any of it, including the worry, when worry's happening. And just register what this space feels like. The space that actually is here and interpenetrates every emotion, every thought. The background of all experience. Okay, good.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it feels much more acceptance, and yeah, that space feels bigger now. So
Awesome.
yeah, thanks a
Great.
lot.
Nice to see you. Thanks for raising your
See you.
hand.
Thank you.
All right.
Is that it?
A good place to stop to me.
Yes, I think that sounds about right. Thank you so much, Leah.
Oh, gosh, my pleasure. Thank you,
Mm.
Steve, for organizing this and everyone for coming and the honesty and the vulnerability and the trust. And it's really a privilege.
Yes, thank you. Well, before we wrap up the call, I have one brief announcement to make. As you may or may not know, we have a calendar running on a platform called Ad Event. I know that you know that, Leah. And I'm going to be shutting that down at the end of the year. There's, in fact, a different solution that I've come up with that I think is much better. And I'll have an announcement soon. I'll be sending that out. But that's just to give everybody a heads up. So no surprises here. And the other thing is with many of my fellow coaches, we're putting together an event, which is going to be a releasing summit for all of you. It's a paid event, but it's a reasonably priced event. It's 4 days from December 5th through December 8th. And you won't be surprised to know I'll be sending out information about that as well. That's what I had to say. Is there anything that you wanted to say in conclusion besides what you've said, Leah, or any announcements you'd like to make? If not, it's just
It's coming.
great. Good. In that case, I'd just like to invite everybody to unmute if you'd like. We could say goodbye.
Goodbye. Have a nice
Bye.
weekend.
Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you very, very
Bye-bye.
much.
Thank you,
Take care.
everybody. Bye-bye.